Auto. 15 minutes could save you hundreds on car insurance.
Welcome back here to the What's Cooking program, the nation's food, wine, restaurant, and travel show. I'm Michael Horn, ladies and gentlemen. That's Paul Stern. Joining us today, Eric Hines and Roy Newman from the Private Wine Council is here, and Paul Barbary is going to be our guest. But I'm telling you, just some fun stuff at that Fullerton Restaurant Week. One just comment here. You know, you go to a restaurant week and you order some stuff, and is it proper when you box everything up from the dinner? Like if there's some pizza left over, if there's angel hair pasta left over, if there's meatballs left over, if there's Romeo and Juliet, two types of pasta left over, if there is chicken parmesan left over, and you get all that stuff in a box, is it overkill to ask for extra buns that they gave you, extra rolls at the beginning of the evening? Because they are deliciously homemade at Angelo and Vinci's restaurant. They make them fresh every day. But they already had 3 in the box. And before they left, they said, could I have a few more rolls? Like, what, are you stocking up your refrigerator for the week?
It's taken advantage of an opportunity.
Do you agree with that?
I would agree with that.
I mean, I was a little embarrassed right there to go ahead and get those. Eric Hines, you don't do anything like that, do you?
Well, I got to tell you, my personal dining experience this weekend, I dined at a great restaurant, and they had awesome bruschetta. Okay.
Did you take it home?
I wanted to, but they took it off my table before I could
Well,
ask
you
them to
asked
take it home.
they say I was not finished with that.
They snuck it right out from underneath my nose.
Roy Newman, you are the Private Wine Council.
Yeah,
That's a little overkill, isn't it?
It is overkill. And does anybody ever
Could I have
eat
some
that
more
stuff?
rolls?
I need something to soak up the alcohol.
Did you take the tablecloth too?
No,
and
I'm
the
just
utensils?
saying. Let's ask an expert here, the owner of Hurley's in New York. It's a legendary Manhattan saloon. It's got great history. Our buddy, the late, great Ed McMahon, a true American icon, along with his sidekick, Johnny Carson, Jack Parr, Bob Hope, Tom Brokaw. So many people dined at Hurley's. Paul Barbary's with us. Paul, welcome to the broadcast.
Well, thank you very much, and a good morning to you, sir.
Good day to you. Now, let me ask you, if someone comes to your restaurant, they box stuff up, and you get everything, and they ask for some extra bread, do you box that up and let them take home the rolls, the opening rolls as well?
I wouldn't have a problem with it.
Well, that's because you're a great restaurateur. They did not at Angelo and Vinci's either, but I thought a little too much. I mean, you got a lot of food here. I mean, just how much are you going to eat? And then there was also a comment made, and this is a true story as I'm sitting here right now, because when the waiter came out and brought the rolls, he was asked if you were able to freeze them. Like he's storing these things up for the next year.
Well, I guess every now and then you have a couple of frugal guests who are looking to make one dinner into 2 dinners.
Exactly. Welcome here to the show. Tell us, what about Hurley's? Where are you located in New York?
Well, we're currently located on West 48th Street in the heart of the theater district for the last 10 years.
Where were you
However,
before?
The original Hurley's was established in 1892, and it was located at the base of the RCA building, then known as also the NBC building. Now it's known as the GE building.
So that store they have at the base of the building where you can buy all the tchotchkes from NBC, that was at Hurley's?
Well, we were located on 49th and 6th Avenue on the northeast corner.
Yeah.
Hurley's was there back when they had the raised train tracks, back before Rockefeller Center was even there.
Oh, boy.
They built Rockefeller Center during the early part of Prohibition, I guess the early 30s or late 20s, and they left the building standing because the original Hurley family had a 50-year lease in those days.
Now, Paul, I mean, one thing I'm noticing with kind of like pub and saloon kind of trends right now, a big push for high quality like pub food. I mean, is that something that you guys can really kind of deliver over there at Hurley's?
We do, and I would agree with you. We work within our means. We're not a 4-star or 3-star restaurant, I don't think, but we serve higher-end Irish, American pub food, a good quality, a good burger,
the job done, yeah.
a good steak sandwich, and just good quality and good
rolls.
service and at a reasonable price.
Can you freeze the rolls?
Will you
I've
stop
never
it?
tried, sir.
Crying out loud, ridiculous
Never
question.
tried freezing the rolls.
You know, what is it about a restaurant, a property that has a certain history that, that any Johnny-come-lately that just pops up on the scene really I would imagine would find it very difficult to compete with?
There are a lot of places that open and close on a weekly and daily and monthly, yearly basis. I don't have an answer. I think there are a lot of absentee owners. I think the ones that are successful are the ones that are hands-on. during ownership, and people see and meet and greet, and there's a feel to the place. You know, you can count on seeing certain people when you walk in. But, you know, the old Hurley's and in the new Hurley's, we've been very fortunate in our locations where we've had quite a bit of celebrities, as your friend Mr. McMahon, including his son more recently, and as you said, Jack Barr, Johnny Carson. After that, we had Letterman in all the time.
Just
Jay
a great
Leno.
place. Let's talk about this. Paul Barbie is with us, the owner of Hurley's in New York City. You're your next generation here. How long has Hurley's been in your family?
Oh, my father took it over in 1978.
So what is
It was
Hurley's? Hurley's, the name was what?
It was originally called, from 1892 up to 1975, it was called Hurley Brothers and Daly's Saloon. And then in 1975, the Hurley family left. They sold it to a gentleman named Dave Wolf. He called it Wolf's Steakhouse for 2 years. Nobody liked him. At least that's what the story we got.
I like that.
And he tried to make it too fancy. My family took it over in 78 or so. And from there, everybody at NBC told us all the history of Hurley's and everything else, so we renamed it Hurley Saloon, continuing the trend and the trend and the tradition of serving, you know, good strong drinks and a good time.
Now is it true? Is it true, Paul Barbie, the owner of Hurley's in New York? Is it true that the NBC people used to call down to get like Tom Brokaw back up to news or Johnny Carson back in when he was doing the Tonight Show? You would be like a place where they would kind of like a green room for some of the programs.
Very much so. In actuality, they actually, in the old days, in the 50s and 60s, had a phone line draped from one of the windows up at NBC downstairs to the Hurley's bar.
Wow.
And they would call regularly telling certain people they had to come back upstairs and get on air for certain breaking newscasts. But to this day, or when we left the old establishment in 99, when we lost the lease there, we had Chuck Scarborough, Sue Simmons, Tom Brokaw, all those news personalities were in there all the time.
Wait a second.
Yeah, they're all
Wait a
normal
second.
people.
Wait a second. Sweet Sue Simmons was actually spending time over there at Hurley's?
Well,
Oh, boy. If the
Sweet
walls
Sue
could
Simmons
talk.
used to like to have a few glasses of wine, and
Hi.
you usually know by the 11 o'clock news if she had been at Hurley's.
I'm ready to go with the news.
Paul, you just let one out of the bag.
Hey, so Paul, did anybody ever like not make it back up to the studio? Like, I gotta stay right here, forget my
Yeah,
shit.
I believe his name is Michael Horn.
Did that ever happen?
I don't wish to speak too out of school. I still have
Absolutely.
some of those guests come into the bar. I'll say that there are plenty of executives that didn't make it to meetings later in the day who came down for lunch and stayed there for quite a while.
No, wait a second.
A couple
Hey,
of
wait.
people on assignment.
For all the tourists out there, forget the tickets to the Letterman show. Just go to Hurley's.
That's it. You know, Letterman used to come in all the time. He did a lot of films, a lot of skits at our place.
He did?
Him and was the band leader Paul Schaefer would come in, drink his martinis, and have his hamburger.
Oh, there
They're
you
all
go.
great
Wait,
guys.
wait. Paul Schaefer likes martinis?
Absolutely, he's a good man.
That's good. All right. So, and there must be a good Hurley martini. Come on. New York is like martini central.
That's it. Make them cold and strong, and they like them quite a bit.
Traditional or vodka?
He was a gin man, I believe.
He's a gin guy, traditional kind of guy, and that's good. All right, so can we hold Paul over a little bit here? Paul Barbie is with us, the owner of Hurley's in New York City. We're talking about the history and the legend behind this great Manhattan saloon, and we'll find out what's going on there now today because they've moved, and they're not right at the NBC studios anymore. We'll find out about that and what's being served, so stay with us. It is the What's Cooking program. I'm Michael Horn. That's Paul Stern, Eric Hines over there, and the always quiet Roy Newman from the Private Secret Wine Council is with us.